back to Genius Dreams Education channel. Today we are going to look at how we can design a simple sports flyer as part of our studies for Photoshop. So before you start, please subscribe to my channel to get weekly videos on Photoshop and website development. So now let's go into our Photoshop and create a new working space by using the Control and setting your size by 4x4. So Control and you set the size to 4x4. You change it here to 4x4 and you maintain the measurements in inches. You set the height to 4x4, then resolution to 300. You then click on create and you can also name your Photoshop here as, let's say, sports flyer. So then after that you click on create to get our new working space as this one. So what I'm going to do is, the first thing we will do is to design our background image. So let me start importing the images for the background. And actually, first of all, I'm going to import this to the working space. You hold on, you click and you drag it to the working space, or you can use the placement method option to get your image. That's the place embedded here. You click on it, then you choose the image from your file. That one too works. So the next thing is I'm going to blend or set the blending mode of this image to vivid light, and then going for my other image. So other image I'm going to use is, I'm going to use this image here, an image of children playing. So actually this flyer is about, this post is about something like some more like children's sports or children games. So after importing this image, the next thing I'm going to do is to blend this image too with the first one. So I'm going to set the blending option to luminosity to get this as the background of the flyer. So the next thing is I'm going for my rectangular tool and I'm going to draw a small rectangle here. And this rectangle, I'll set the filling color to no color and set the edge color to this color, and then press enter to get this color out of it. So after this one, I'm still going for the rectangular tool again, and I'm going to draw a small rectangle here. So I'm going to set the filling color of this rectangle too, and the edge to the same thing as the first one. So I'm going for the move tool and move this. So press on Ctrl T and I'm going to rotate it a little bit to somewhere like this, as this. Then press enter. Hold the Alt key and then drag to make a copy, or you can press on Ctrl J to make a copy. So the next thing is still hold on the Alt key, drag to make another copy here, press on Ctrl T and then rotate it this way and press double click or press enter and continue to get something like this. So press on Ctrl T, rotate it again a little bit, then you hold on the Alt key and drag to make a copy to get this from it. So now actually this is how I'm going to design the down parts of this flyer, how I'm going to keep the down parts of this flyer. So the next thing is I'm going for my other images. So actually, let me go in for the logo images I'm going to use. So let me go in for the WhatsApp logo. I'll give some more information on WhatsApp, how to contact the team on WhatsApp. So I'm going to use this image for that. So I'll drag it to this place, press on Ctrl T and transform it a little bit. Double click to deactivate the command, then going for the next image too. So an image of something like Facebook, so that you give little info how to reach the club through Facebook. So transform it in, then after transforming it in, you drag it and position it here. So it's too big, let me transform it inside some more, press enter. So I'm going to keep this one to here. And the next thing is, let me go in for the last one, actually how to reach them on call. So press enter and then drag it and position that one as somewhere like this. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the background image of the Facebook. So right click on it and then you rasterize that layer. After that, you go to Windows, Properties, and then you come here to remove the background. So subscribe to the channel to get weekly videos on Photoshop and website development. So now you can see the background of the Facebook has been removed completely. So let me go in and select the images and adjust the positions in between them a little bit. So I think now this one is okay. Let me transform the Facebook out more to increase the size a little bit. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is, actually this is going to be the output. So this is going to be the background layer of the flyer. So I'm going to group all my rectangles and the images too as well. Okay, so for now, let me leave that for now so that you continue in the course. So the next thing I'm going to do is, let me also draw the next rectangle here. I'll also use another rectangle at this side. So I think this place is okay. And for we are going to still set the same color adjustment for the edges and set the stroke to the filling color to no color. So I'm going to press on Ctrl T. Just want to modify this rectangle to a shape. Then you come to this icon here, you click on it. Then you come to the custom here. So within this custom, I'm going to choose the fish shape. So actually, this is the image the fish shape is going to produce. And let me adjust it. So I'm going to maintain this one. So now let me select the move tool and move it down some more. So I'm going to keep it in this way. So the next thing is for me to go in for my test. So I'll be giving out all the tests you are going to use for the flyer. And as for the test, you just go in for the test tool, you select it and you click anywhere you want to give your test and you start typing or give out your test. So I'll write out all the tests and you proceed from how to provide the styling aspect of the test. Okay, so now we are done with the test. As usual, just going for the test too. You click on it where you want to give your test and you start typing or giving out the test. So the next thing we are going to do is to look at how we can provide the styling aspect of the test. So I'm going to actually start with the team which is joined the 2024 Youth Basketball League. So let's go and select that layer, and I'm going to choose a font family of the Rockwell bold for it. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the font size to somewhere about 14. 14 is too much, so let me say somewhere about 11, and then select the move to and position it somewhere here and leave it like this. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'll then go in and select the other layer too, which is the learn this layer, and I'm going to maintain that same font family for this layer too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the font size small to somewhere about 9, and then increase the space in between the text. So if I'm increasing the space, then I'm going to decrease the font size. So I'm going to maintain it this way as the learn, play, and grow with us. So the next thing I'm going to tackle is I'm going to position this test to as usual, and all these tests, the font family for them is the same Rockwell that I'm using. So let me go and select those layers. So let me take this one and bring it down here. So after bringing it down here, the font family I'm using is that same Rockwell font family. So let me increase the font size to somewhere about 9, and then select the next layer to position it here and increase the font size to somewhere about 9, same thing. So I'm going to increase the font size of all this text to 9 and keep the font family to Rockwell extra bold. Okay, so now I'm done positioning them and adjusting their font size too. The next thing is I'm going to group all these layers as one group and then position them. So I will select all of them and group that. So I name it as this. I gave it as data or data. So I'm going to select that layer and click on Ctrl A and then position it to the center using this icon. So press on Ctrl D to deselect it. So the next thing is leave it the text for this part too. Then we move on to the color aspect. So I'm going to provide the text for this side. So I'm going to give actually a number for that part. Let me set the font size to somewhere about 6 and then give out the number 0508585666. Since the text size is small, let me increase it to 8 and see. Okay, now it's okay. Then let me position it here. Do same for this one as 059421. Then I'm going to position this one to here and leave it, and then next one is the Facebook, and I'm going to give out the Facebook name as at Genius Club. So at Gen Club as the Facebook name. So I'm going to position that one to, let me bring that one here and shift the Facebook to this side. So I'm going to select the Facebook layer or the Facebook image layer, which was this one, and I'm going to shift it close to this side. So now I'm done with this part, and the color for this text was, or the numbers was, this is the color code 818B111 as the color code for the numbers here. So the next thing is, let me go and also work on the youth basketball as a subtitle or a sub theme. So I'm going to select that layer too, and for that layer I'm going to increase the font size to somewhere about, so I'm going to increase the font size about somewhere about, let's say 24 will be too much. Let me keep it around 22, and I'm going to, let me first select the move tool and move it to this side a little bit and press on Ctrl T, and I'm going to rotate it. Let me set it. So Ctrl T, and I'm going to then rotate it this way. I'm going to position it here. So I'm then going to increase the height of the text to somewhere about 300% and increase the distance in between it to somewhere about 50. So I think this one is cool for now. And then position it here like this. So let me press on Ctrl T, rotate it small again, and activate the code for now. So the next thing I'm going to do is to provide the color effect of this text. So I'm going to select an image for that part too. So for the use, I'm going to choose an image to provide the color effect, and I'm going to use this image for that. So I'll expand it to cover that text and click on it, right click on it and click on create clipping mask. So And when I create the clipping mask, I'm going to get this as the test color for that part. So I'm going to set this, or I'm going to set the blending option for that image to hard mix, keep it this form. And I'll still go in and provide the color effect for this text too. So before that one, let me go and select that layer. I'm going to set the color for this one to be black as well. Click on OK. So I'm going to select this group layers and provide a color effect for all of them. So I'll go in for the image that I'll be using for that color too. I'll drag and then drop it to cover the text, and then right click on the layer to provide a clipping mask effect. Right click on the layer, then you click on create clipping mask. So this is the outcome or the color we are going to get for that part. And I'm going to set the blending option of this color to vivid light. So let me go and set the blending option. Okay, so I'm setting the blending option to difference. And now let me go back to this, the youth, and I'm going to set the color, this color to black, and then choose the blending option again to see a different color for that part. So I'm going to set the blending option of this image to pin light and go and set the blending option or the blending image for this. So I'll then set the blending option of this image to difference, and lastly let me go and provide a color effect for the join too. So for the join, I'm going to still import another image for the color effect. So I'll make sure this image will cover the text, and then right click and provide or click on create clipping mask. So after that, I'm going to set the blending option. So before I set the blending option, let me set the text color of this to black, and then go back and select the image and choose the blending option. So I'm going to use the color dodge blending option for that part. So now I'm almost done with the color or the text effect. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to provide some small text effects to make our text more visible. So the first thing I'll do is to select the youth basketball layer and click on the FS here to provide a drop shadow effect. So now as you can see how the youth basketball looks like with the drop shadow effect. So let me adjust or choose how I want the shadow to appear. So this one is more bold as compared to the first one. So I'm going to keep this one and then also add some texture to it. So I'm going to add some more texture to it. So let me set the depth to somewhere about 628% and adjust the scale to see the effect. So I think now this is okay as compared to the previous one. So the next thing I'm going to do is to press on OK, and the next thing is I'm going to select this layers tool and provide a rough shadow effect for that part to make the text more visible or to distinguish it from this one. So let me go and select the depth group or the data group and click on the FS to provide a rough shadow effect. So now you can see how that part looks like. So actually I'm going to maintain this one and let me adjust. The distance was too much. Let me set the size. So I'm setting the size to 2 and then increase the distance more. So I'm going to keep the drop shadow in this manner, and now you can see how our flyer looks like for now. So the next thing I'm going to do is to provide a general effect on the whole flyer. So I'm going to select all the flyer and provide a general effect for it. So you hold Control and then you select all. So after grouping it, we are going to provide a general effect for it. So you click on this icon, and the first thing I'm going to do is to add some small curves to it. So for this curve, let me adjust it to achieve a better or a visible part of our text. So now I think this part is okay or cool for now as compared to the previous one. But I wish we could change the color or the text for this part. Okay, so the next thing is let me go and add another effect to it. So let me add hue and saturation to see how it will look like. So after adjusting the hue part, this is how the flyer is going to look like. So let me keep on adjusting it to see if we can get. So I think this one is okay. Let me adjust the saturation aspect to see. And then let me work on the lightness more. Okay, so let me put it as the +2 increment. So now I'm going to leave this as the general or the final flyer, But the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the brightness level. So you click on that same icon and then go to brightness. So I'll leave the brightness level to somewhere about 29 is okay. So I'm going to leave it at this part, that's 24. And then let me adjust the contrast. See the effect of the contrast. So I'm going to adjust the contrast to about -25 and then keep this as our final flyer. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel to get weekly videos on Photoshop and website development. Thank you. Goodbye.